Right, welcome back to the program. You can see me smiling for obvious reasons. I think this is fast becoming a fan favorite segment on Daybreak as we open the phone lines to give you an opportunity to be a part of the conversation. To Daybreak Interactive. In case you just joined us, a quick reminder, you can watch the show on the go by joining our Facebook and YouTube live stream. Follow us across social media platforms, across Facebook, across Twitter, across Instagram. Also, visit our website, trusttv.com, to stay in touch with all of our shows and, of course, news updates. Well, let's get the conversation started because a couple of days ago, the 10th National Assembly, the current National Assembly, has clocked 1 year in office. And it's only fair that we put the spotlight on their performance, especially at the state of affairs in Nigeria today. With all of the groaning, the action, the disillusionment that Nigerians have been expressing since the removal of fuel subsidies, since the emergence of the new administration back in May last year, what is your take with regards to the performance of the 10th National Assembly, the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives? Because it's only fair, since we have assessed the executive with regards to his performance, that we also take a look at the second most powerful arm of government, which is the legislature and its contributions towards national development. So what do you make of their performance so far, the legislations that they've passed, their oversight function, their contribution towards the great national debate about the best way forward, managing the economy, oversighting the executive arm of government, keeping our governance in the proper shape that would allow for optimal performance? Do you think that they have done enough? Do you think they are doing enough? Are you satisfied with the representation? Because evidently they are the voices of the people, because they represent the people. So let's have this conversation. Our phone lines are on your TV screens, and I would love for you to join the conversation. A quick reminder that you can, of course, join the conversation via WhatsApp also. We have our first caller. Let's speak to our first caller then. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi, Ahmed, and the other just another person in the studio.
Is this Shamaki?
Yeah, I'm Shamaki on the line.
Good to hear from you as always, Shamaki. Calling from Nasarawa, I suppose.
Yeah, Nasarawa, Konda. Thank you very much.
Right, go ahead, Shamaki, please.
Yeah, to me, this anniversary, there's nothing we can celebrate. Because National Assembly are not in Nigeria. They are the ones that are representing their people. They are the eye of the people. They are the ones to be talking to executive. There are times the way and manner they are doing there, we don't understand. You can imagine. Look at the issue of minimum wage this last year. But this is not what we are expecting. So they should be proactive so that Nigeria should know they are there for us and they are working for us. So advising them, they should do what is right in Nigeria. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shamaki. It's safe to say that he has captured the essence of the conversation in a few words. It leaves much to be desired, to be honest, going by the current trend. But for me, I think Sunday is also the body language of the National Assembly. Sometimes when you hear their commentary on the state of affairs, I mean, there are some of them who can be quite reflective of the yearnings and the aspirations of Nigerians. But you get a sense overall that they're not as angry as you'd expect them to be, because if they're truly reflecting the voice, the wills, and the yearnings of Nigerians, they wouldn't be so cozy about some of the conversations, especially when the president appeared before the House, the joint session on May 29, for instance. And it does appear that, you don't get a sense that they're in tune with what Nigerians are saying and what Nigerians are feeling. And that is why most people have, developed this sense that, they don't represent us to the fullest when it comes to matters arising.
All right, we have another caller. This time is from Mr. Joel, from Lafayette. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joel.
Yes, I want to contribute over this 1 year anniversary celebration by the National Assembly.
The trunk is all yours. Good morning.
Go ahead, Mr. Joe.
To me, this is the worst National Assembly.
The worst?
This is the worst National Assembly because when they came in, they only talk about bulletproof cars. They are not talking about stomach infrastructure.
But it's just been 1 year, Mr. Joel. They still have 3 more years to go. You don't think they can turn things around?
One step matters a lot. To me, is one of the flamboyant National Assembly we have ever had.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. Keeping it short and simple.
Yeah.
But he has a point, doesn't he?
Because
in the middle of the removal of fuel subsidy, as we're discussing palliatives, we now understood that they were going to spend 130 million plus on SUVs. And guess what? One of the senators came and said, listen, have you traveled on Nigerian roads? They're quite bumpy. We need to visit our constituents. And then it dawned on Nigerians that, they're not thinking about fixing the roads first. They're thinking about getting the cars that would allow them to, travel the bad roads that we do have. These and many other instances have made Nigerians...
You talked about the optics, and I'm sure that is where Nigerians have their issues. I had the opportunity to be discussing with a legislative, aid, but I will tell you about that conversation shortly after we take this call from Abdullahi from Jos. Good morning, Abdullahi.
Hello, Abdullah, are you still there? Okay, try again. The number is showing on your TV screen. Rules of engagement, please turn down the volume of your TV set when you call in.
In that conversation with the legislative aid, I said, what exactly is happening between the National Assembly and the presidency? It does appear that whatever the presidency wants, the National Assembly have. We said there is nowhere in the Constitution that says we should be fighting the presidency. The Constitution says we are partners in progress. So we will do everything we can to help the president to succeed. That's the way he summarizes.
I don't agree with that submission, but it doesn't appear that this partnership is working for Nigerians. And that's why we question the nature of the relationship.
And the fact that it is also, it betrays the principles of separation of powers and checks and balances. So at what point, do you then call the president's order? It does appear, for instance, on the issue of the presidential jet, that is the National Assembly that is championing this purchase far much more than the presidency, it would appear.
I think Abdullahi is back, so let's try again. Abdullahi from Jos is calling in. Hello, good morning, Abdullahi. Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Interactive. Again, quite unfortunate that he can't, get through to the studio, but try again, Abdullahi. Do not be discouraged. We would love to hear from you again.
All right, and if you try one of the numbers and you don't have success with it, you can as well try another. We now move across the shore to the UK, where we have Adi standing by. Good morning, Adi.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How is the UK this morning?
UK is cool. My name is Adi, London. You don't know how it is here like you are.
That's right. Please go ahead and share your thoughts with us.
My view on this assembly is this. We're not right enough for this two assemblies. We need just one. That's all right. Let us start the Senate, because this is too expensive for a country like Nigeria to maintain. Here in UK, we have member of parliament, which is not the MP. Nobody buy a car for them. You buy a car for yourself. The only people they allocate car for are the cabinet member and the opposition member who are in the shadow cabinet. And if you are allocated a car as a cabinet member, which is maybe like the minister we call them in Nigeria, and once you close office officially, they can't go back to the parliament. That person will take train back up, or they will drop the minister from that seat. If he's going out, or he or she to take train or say to that tiny business. So that's how it operates. So in Nigeria now, something that should come in 50 years' time, they're operating it now. So we can't afford it. It's so expensive. I can't for everybody. That's why they are killing themselves when they get to the National Assembly. They're not fighting for the common man. So for me, I think we should scrap the Senate.
Yeah.
Let's have House of Rep only. God bless Nigeria. Let's trust him.
Yeah, and God bless you too, Ade. As always, good to hear from you, and do have a lovely day. This is one particular conversation that continues to be re-echoed over and over, that this bicameral legislative style that we have is too expensive. And, you know, it exposes us to a lot of, you know, financial costs as well as a strain, because the concurrence itself takes a lot of time, because no law can come without the concurrence from both houses. And sometimes just procedurally, the red tape, the bureaucracy itself, you know, takes a lot of time. And the staffing also that goes into it. But of course, obviously, it doesn't make economic sense, especially at a time like this. So you can understand where Ade is coming from that.
All right, Ade's sentiments are noted, and I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to explore those further. We have another caller from Borno, Shatima. Good morning, Mr. Shatima.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
You are talking about the House of Assembly. You see, this House of Assembly that we have,
the National Assembly, Shatima,
I think they are not representing people, rather, they are presenting themselves. Why did I say so? Because if you see the way they are legislating, it will tell you that they are only representing themselves. They are not representing people. Because anything that concerns Nigerians, they are not in the front lines, honestly.
Do you
look at now the way
Mr. Shatima,
Mr. President is dribbling people on the new minimum wage? They have not talked anything about it. So I think what they are representing is themselves. As the way Ade said, in the purchasing of the official vehicles, they did not ask for the interest of Nigerians, or they did not bring the bill into board. You see, they only go ahead and buy the car for themselves. So it was only God who will see us through in this democracy of Nigeria.
Mr. Shatima?
So thank you so much.
Mr. Shatima, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Just a question before you go. How much of this lack of representation is our fault? Is it a function of the kind of people that we give our votes to, or something just happens to this person the moment they resume at the National Assembly in Abuja?
Honestly, if you look at the way they come into the power, they are not representing people, as I said earlier, and nobody voted for them. I can cite you an example of one senator from Yobe State who did not even contest for the primary election, but yet he is in the Senate House today. Who voted them? They voted themselves. Their executive governors imposed them on the people. They take them there. So there is nothing like voting or whatever represents people, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Shatima. I appreciate the call this morning. Do have a lovely day. You know what? You can't help but, you know, agree to some extent that some of these situations that we found ourselves in, with the quality of the representation that we've been getting, politically speaking, leaves much to be desired, because you get a sense that there's no alignment between what the people are demanding from their leaders and what the leaders are busy doing.
Absolutely.
Because you look at their priority list, for instance, with the national anthem situation, I still can't get my head around how it was, you know, given this speedy attention and approval from both chambers of the National Assembly while we're still debating a new national minimum wage. I mean, it just goes to show you what, you know, their priorities are.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing they can say to escape that criticism from Nigerians who are saying, listen, we're busy crying about food inflation, you know, production cost and everything else, and your focus is on something entirely different. I believe we have someone on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mamman from Bauchi.
Muhammad from Bauchi. Good morning. Mohammed, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning, Mohammed. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yes, my take on the first anniversary of the Nigerian 10th Assembly. Well, I think to whom much is given, much is expected. There are sensitive issues which the National Assembly should have done, particularly issue of economy and security. Just let me cite an example. Recently, the National Assembly quickly, with alacrity, changed the national anthem. Why don't such kind of thing happen to our national economy, meaning the hardship people are experiencing? Why don't the National Assembly sit down and address our security issues in the country, particularly in the northern side of this country? Again, most of these, if not all of these National Assembly members are not first-timers. Some have been there for many years. They know our problems. They know what they can do for the country to move forward. So my take is, let them summon courage. Let them meet the executive. Let them do something that the country will be happy. The people voted them to power because they want change. This is not a military regime. It is a regime of people. People want change. People are suffering. So please, let them come to our aid. Let them summon courage, meet the presidency, tell presidency our problems so that the issue of security and particularly economy, this issue we are facing, should be overcome.
All right, Mohammed, before you go, I have a question for you. Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's a failure of understanding of what role the National Assembly can play in some of the issues you identified, or there is just the sheer unwillingness to make themselves useful in this democracy? Where do you situate the problem when you listen to them talk? Can you hear me, Mohammed?
Sorry, please, can you take it again? I can't hear you.
So what I'm trying to say is, when you listen to members of this National Assembly, do you think they understand what role they can play with regards to supporting the economy, with regards to holding the executive to account, or it is just the unwillingness by this assembly to play its role?
Yes, looking at their caliber, looking at their backgrounds and their caliber, I'm sure they know what they should do for the economy. I'm sure they know what they should do to address security issues. You see, most of them, I tell you, are not first-timers. Most of them are experts. Some are governors, some are ex-this and ex-that. They know the country very well. They know how to do what to do to help the country. So it is a matter of sitting down to think, what can we do to save the common man? What do we do to move the country forward? What do we do to see that people are really in peace so that they can contribute their quota towards the development and growth of this country? But the fact is, people are suffering. People are in so much. In fact, I cannot find the right word to use it. So please, let them come to our aid. People are suffering, and we believe they can change. Yeah. We believe they have an impact to make.
Thank you very much,
Mohammed, for that wonderful contribution. I appreciate you for joining the conversation. And and I think at some level, it does look unfair that we're painting, the entire National Assembly with one brush. But what can you do? The overall impact is what is up for assessment, right? So you cannot cherry pick and say, oh, one senator or one House representative member is working, because they work as a collective, right? And that, at the end of the day, is what really matters. No one senator can actually make an entire difference in the National Assembly. I mean, look at what happened with the whole Ningi situation. Not to say he's right and the Senate is wrong, but look at entirely how one person going against the system could backfire, even when the issues at hand leaves so many questions unanswered, whether it's about budget padding or the economy or security and so on and so forth. Samuel is joining the conversation now, so let's speak to Samuel. Samuel, good morning.
All difficulties in their areas.
Sorry,
and make sure that people who voted them to power are safe and that they are living in harmony before they can come back and stay in Abuja. They cannot be voted and they come and stay in Abuja. Those who vote them are dying in the bush. Thieves are dealing with them. They cannot go to their farm. Nothing is happening, and they are enjoying themselves in Abuja while the people who voted them are in the villages, in the remote places, dying and cannot be cared for. In fact, I would have asked the federal government to suggest to both the House of Rep and Senate should go back to the area they were voted. and then let them, if there's peace in Nigeria, they can come back to Abuja together and let the country continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samuel. And I think this is one of those popular ideas, by the way, that has been floated a couple of times. The constituency offices, for instance, some of them will tell you that they do have it, but how many of them sit and actually talk to the people of their constituency on a regular basis? Not even, the quarterly basis, on a regular basis, especially looking at where we are right now as a country. Those constituency offices are dormant if they do exist, and you get a sense that, sometimes when they speak to their constituents, they're usually only speaking to their supporters. While they are part of their constituency, they're not entirely representative of the people that they represent. And I do believe that, that could also mean something. It could go a long way if our senators and House of Representative members are actually spending more time in their constituencies than in Abuja. Maybe we're going to see a difference. Who knows? I mean, but you could also say the same thing about the governors, right?
Absolutely.
Some of them are notorious for spending more than 2/3 of their times on a monthly basis here in Abuja.
True. By the way, Samuel called from Gembu, one of the highest point in this country. You can understand why he spoke with so much passion. We have James from Benue. Good morning, James. Good morning, James.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. What part of Benue are you calling from?
I have one more question.
Please come again.
I come from Okpoku local government.
Okpoku local government. Go ahead, please, and share your thoughts with us.
So, yes. So my question is this. I want to ask one question.
Go ahead. I hope we're able to provide answer.
This democracy is for the politician or for the whole Nigeria?
By design, it's supposed to be for everybody. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
What the politician do to this country?
James, I would like to crave your indulgence. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Yes, James, please turn down the volume of your TV set and go ahead, because we can hear the interference and it's disrupting the conversation. Yes.
The politicians.
Yeah.
When I'm saying only, because the politicians is taking the things, the law. You say the Nigeria have law, Nigeria has law. Everybody run on its own. If you go to the farm, now will be the farmer. You go to the farm. Every day and night, they keep human being. If you go to the farming, flying, it's a problem. Go to bandit, it's a problem. Kidnapping is a problem. What are we doing for this country? Maybe you go and sit down for office and talk, but forget.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
thank you very
James.
much, James. And
then the point that we don't talk today, the thing we talk today, we talk tomorrow. The thing we talk tomorrow, we talk like tomorrow. No action.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, James, for your point.
You have to tell me saying that the federal government, they don't know bandit, they don't know about Fulani, they don't know about where to settle to put Nigeria one.
Okay. Yeah, James. Thank you for doing that point. And just to draw, perhaps draw attention to what James is actually talking about, because Benue State, like some of these states that have to continuously deal with, farmer herder clashes and violent attacks of that particular nature. Remember, just a couple of weeks ago, Senator Zam, who is from Benue State, credit to him, by the way, decided to bring back that conversation, although contentious as it may appear to be, the issue of ranching and regulating open grazing, which is to some degree a part of the problem that leads to those clashes, although it's still something that's been debated at the National Assembly. Sometimes you get flashes, don't we?
That's right.
These lawmakers truly airing those things that we love to hear about, burning issues that's affecting our society. And we're not putting all of them in the same basket to say that nobody is functioning as a legislator. Some of them do end up, making some of those points. But however, their voices are drowned by the inert, performance, so to say, of the other members, where you get a sense that, listen, as much as there are a handful of them that are trying to do the right thing, it is not enough to actually move the needle, and that's what we need at this point.
All right. Good morning, Joel from Lafia.
Yes, sir. I'm from Lafia.
That's right.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Okay, I was on. I called you just some minutes ago.
Yes, we recall.
Yes, and I was the one who was talking about the present National Assembly are not there for us because when they went, they were talking of bulletproof. They are not talking about hunger. They are not talking about their people at the consistency level. Even when they come home, if they lock their gate and the police is there for them, you cannot access to go there. They will tell you, say, call me, whether he's inside. If he's inside, if he will pick your call, then you can go in. It shouldn't be like that. What I'm just saying is that we need National Assembly that is humane, caring, concerned about the plight of Nigeria. What is going on now? People are talking about Mr. President, Mr. President. What do your representative do? Like in National here, we have one or two that have done something that some of us are proud of him, even though we are not from his constituency. That's how it should be. We should be able to utilize the little resources we are getting at the National Assembly. You are not helping anybody, even in terms of employment, only your cronies that are getting the employment. So how the Nigerian masses are just left wallowing in kind of, I don't know whether it's this democracy that we are practicing, or is it the kind of government that we want, or the representation that we want? No. I think we need to go back to the drawing board to know whether the presidential system is actually touching the life of Nigerians. If it's not, then let us change the battle. Let's go for parliamentary, whether it will work for us or maybe third term. Because the way we are going nowhere. That's not how nations are built. Nations are built based on trust, based on concern that every child is your child. But once you are not doing that, then of course the system should be discarded, and then let us form our own way of doing, like Falana was talking one time, the human rights lawyer.
That's right.
That let us start using our own local currency. Whatever that we are going to do, let us use our local currency. Let us forget about this breed change, and then let us move whether we can actually have economy that touch the life.
Okay.
I get you.
James, I really do appreciate your passion and your contribution. Thank you most kindly for calling back again to further add value to this conversation. We appreciate your thoughts and your contributions. But that's the much time we have for Daybreak Interactive for today's edition. Thank you to all our callers. For all those who tried unsuccessfully, we'll give you yet another opportunity in the next episode.